Namaste. In this session, we will plot the receiver operator characteristics curve and the precision recall curve using the scikit-learn functions, and after that we'll build these plots from scratch. So just a small reminder, we'll be working with the churn modeling dataset. We are basically trying to predict whether a customer will leave the bank or not. So 1 means the customer exits and 0 means the customer stays with the bank. Okay. So in the previous lecture, we did this p dot predict method of this X test, okay, and we found these predictions. Now these predictions were for the 50% threshold value, but now in this lecture we'll look at how we can do it for different threshold values. So first off, what we'll do is let's say plot ROC curve, and by the way, I have imported this plot ROC curve from sklearn.metrics module. Okay, so now this needs two things. It needs an estimator X and a Y. So my estimator is my pipeline P. If I just check what is my estimator is this pipeline P object that we saw in the previous lecture. So estimator is done. Now what is my X? My X is my X test, and what is my Y? Y is my Y test. So I fitted my model on this pipeline P upon the X train and Y train, and now I'm trying to judge my classifier upon my X test and Y test. So now this is my ROC curve. Okay, now if I want to draw the baseline classifier, I can simply say plt.plot, and on my x-axis I need the coordinates to be 0 and 1 for the 2 points, and y-axis also 0 and 1, and my color will be black. Now what this is doing is, now this is the baseline classifier of 0.5. okay, so this is the x coordinate of 0 and y coordinate of 0. So this is this point in the bottom left corner, and this 1 comma 1, this is the top right corner. So these are basically the x coordinates and these are the y coordinates of this line. Okay, so this is how we can draw the ROC curve. Now similarly we can draw the PR curve. So I can say plot precision recall curve, and I'll pass in the same arguments, but here this will not be a valid one. So this is basically my PR curve, right, which has an area under the curve of 0.48. Now if I want to draw the baseline classifier for the PR curve, my baseline is basically the fraction of positive cases in that test set. Okay, so what is my fraction of positive cases? My fraction of positive cases is, if I check my Y test dot value counts, I'm getting back this. So this is 407 divided by 1593 plus 407. So this is 20.35. So a precision of 20.35 is, so a horizontal straight line is my baseline classifier. So I'll do is I'll say on my x-axis I need it to go from 0 until 1, which is correct, and on my y-axis I need it to be constant at 0.20535 and 0.2035. so this is my baseline classifier, and I also say plt.legend location is equal to best. So basically ROC curves are useful when both the classes are balanced, and PR curves are useful when one class dominates the other class. Like in this case, we have only 20% of the positive samples in the dataset, which is a sign, which is an indication of an imbalanced dataset. So we should prefer a PR curve in this case. Now here we notice that we cannot really see the threshold values, right? That this particular point corresponds to what threshold value. So for that, scikit-learn has provided another method called ROC curve simply. So what I'll do is I'll say ROC curve, and I'll pass in two things here, my Y true and my Y score. So what is this Y score? These are not my predictions, but these are my predicted probabilities. Okay, so first I'll show you what the probabilities are. So instead of saying p dot predict as I just did before, and I passed in my X test, so these were my predicted values, right? So these predicted values were for my 50% threshold value. But if I want to check what were my predicted probabilities, I can say p dot predict proba, and this is now giving me the predicted probabilities for each person. That, for example, if I say p dot classes underscore, this is negative class and positive class in this order. So this zeroth column, this is the probability of a person belonging to the negative class, and this 50.22% is the predicted probability of a person belonging to the positive class. So we'll only be working with the positive class because all those metrics of precision recall and F-score etc., they are based upon the positive class. So I'll be getting rid of this negative class here. So what I'll do is I'll say give me all the rows and only the first column, or rather the second column. So this is now my positive class predicted probabilities. So I'll just save this in my probs variable. Okay, so this is my probs variable now. Now what I'll do is I'll import binarizer class from sklearn.preprocessing. What this binarizer will do is it will take in a threshold value, and for that threshold value it will decide whether to put a particular person in the negative class or a positive class. Okay, what I'll do is I'll first create an object of this class binarizer. So I'll say binarizer is equal to binarizer, and it needs a threshold value, so I'll provide it a 0.9 threshold value. Okay, just for demonstration purpose. Now what I'll do is I'll call this binarizer object, and I'll say binarizer.fit underscore transform. And what do I want to fit and transform? I want to fit and transform my probs array. Okay, so this probs array, and this needs to be a 2D array, so I'll pass in the square brackets. Now these are my predicted results for the threshold value of 0.9. So now if I just save this result in a variable called s, now I'll do a np.travel here to convert it into a 1D array, and I'll say np.unique s.travel and return counts is equal to true. Now you see, in the negative class I have 1999 results, and in the positive class I have only one result, because my threshold value was so high that I was very strict in my calculation, that only if a person has a greater than 90% chance of belonging to the positive class, then and only then you should give that person a positive class label. Okay, and hence I have only one person who satisfies that particular criteria. And this is how, by varying the threshold value, I can change the results basically. So if I just do it for another person, and if I say threshold value of 0.1 for example, and if I fit another again, now you see the positive class has 1390 people, because I'm very conservative in my approach, that even if you have more than 10%, that if you have any value greater than 10% as your probability for belonging to the positive class, then you will be classified as positive class, and hence I have such a high number of positive cases here. And so this is how by changing the threshold value we can change the confusion matrix results. So this is what this ROC curve will need. This needs a true value, so my true value is my y test, my y score is basically my probs. So these are my predicted probabilities basically. Okay, so scikit-learn will automatically calculate all the possible confusion matrices, and these are basically, if I check what is the order of the results, I'm getting back three arrays basically. So those three arrays are false positive rate, true positive rate, and threshold values. So I'll just say false positive rate, true positive rate, and threshold values. So I've just extracted information from this ROC curve, and now if I say plt.scatter, and if I pass in false positive rate and true positive rate, because false positive rate is my x-axis and true positive rate is my y-axis. Now see, I'm getting a similar looking ROC curve as we had gotten before. So this is basically the same thing as before. And if I want to check what are my threshold values, what I can say is I can say pd.data frame, and I need three columns. First is my false positive rate column, and the column value is FPR. Then I have my true positive rate column, and those are my true positive rate, and next is my threshold column, and I have THR. Okay, so these were the different threshold values that scikit-learn used, and these were the false positive rates and true positive rates that scikit-learn calculated for each particular threshold value. Okay, now these threshold values are nothing but the unique values of the y score. So if I check my probs array, okay, so and if I do sorted upon this, the first 0.1128 and 0.1158, and if I check my threshold values, I'll find that my bottom one are 0.1128 and 0.1158, 0.01128 and 0.01158. So these are basically the unique threshold values. So the unique threshold values which scikit-learn used were basically the unique values in my probs or the y-score, right? So this is basically what is happening behind the scenes. Similarly, I can also draw my precision recall curve in a similar manner. Now we'll plot the ROC and precision recall curves from scratch. Okay, so what we have done here was for only one threshold value, right? For 0.1 threshold value, we got this particular result of my predictions. So what I'll do is I'll create a function that loops over multiple values of these threshold values, and we'll get multiple confusion matrices, and we'll calculate the false positive rate and true positive rate for each of those confusion matrices. Okay, so we'll just do this now. So I'll say define, and this will require two arguments. One is my y true and another is my threshold values, my different threshold values. Okay, so now first step, what is my first step? My first step is to calculate my predictions from my predicted probabilities. First of all, I'll say for each threshold value in this thresholds array or list, which I'll be passing in just a moment. First I'll say binarizer is equal to this binarizer object, and threshold value, this will be equal to thr. And after doing that, I'll say fit underscore transform. And what do I want to fit and transform? I want to fit and transform my probs array. And after that, I'll do a dot ravel, because this is a 2D array, the result, and I want to convert it into a 1D array. Hence, I'm doing this dot ravel. So now this is basically my preds array now. Okay, so these are my predictions for this particular threshold value of thr. And now what I'll do is I'll draw my confusion matrix. So I'll say confusion matrix, what is my, so confusion matrix needs two parameters, y true and y pred. So my y true is my y test and my y pred are my preds. Okay, and now I'll also do a dot ravel here, because my confusion matrix, if I look here in the previous lecture, we saw that my confusion matrix is basically a 2D array, and to convert it into a 1D array, I need to do a dot ravel. Okay, so once I do a dot ravel, I can now extract the information like in this way of the true positive, true negative, false positive and false negative. So what I can do here is, if I check the original order in which the confusion matrix is built, I'll find that it is in this order: true negative, false negative and true positives. So this is what I'll be doing here. I'll say this. Okay, so now I've extracted information of all of these four cell values. Now it is time to calculate my x-axis and y-axis coordinates. So my x-axis, I have the false positive rate. So I'll just name this false positive rate 1 to avoid any naming convention issues. And I'll say FPR1 is equal to, what is my false positive rate? It is basically false positives divided by false positives plus true negatives, and my true positive rate 1, this is equal to my sensitivity or recall, which is true positives divided by true positives plus false negatives. Okay, so now I need to find a way to save these results for each threshold value in my x-axis and y-axis coordinate points. For that, I'll say x-axis is equal to x-axis dot append and FPR1, and similarly I'll say y-axis dot append TPR1. Now you must be wondering, what is this x-axis and y-axis? Well, these are basically empty lists. So these values will be appended in these two x-axis and y-axis lists. Okay, now once this is done, now I'll simply return my x-axis and y-axis. Now I'll say plot ROC curve from scratch, and I need to provide y true. Y true is my y test, and what is my threshold values? For example, if I say for these 5 threshold values, Well, I'm now getting two arrays back. So this is my x-axis array and this is my y-axis array. So I'll just save these results in my x-axis and y-axis two variables. Okay, now I can simply say plt.scatter and I can pass in x-axis and y-axis. Now see, I'm getting a similar looking ROC curve, but I'm only doing it for these 5 values and hence it is not looking the same. So for that, what I can do is I can say np.linspace and pass in from 0 until 1 my starting and ending values, and I need 30 different points in between them, 30 equally spaced points. Once I do that, now if I draw, now I'm getting a similar looking ROC curve. So this is how we can draw the ROC curve from scratch. And now if you want, now of course the scikit-learn will not do this np.linspace, and as I said before, it will look at the unique values in this probs array for choosing the threshold values. And so this is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so I'm getting a similar looking ROC curve here as well. Now to draw the PR curve from scratch, it is very similar to this. Now on my x-axis, I need my recall values. So I'll call this recall, which is same as true positive by true positive plus false negative. And on my y-axis, I need my precision. So I'll say precision is equal to, this is true positive upon true positive plus false positives. Okay, so on my x-axis, I'll append my recall, and y-axis I'll append my precision, and I'll just call this. Now if I say plot PR curve from scratch, and if I give my y true as my y test and my threshold values as, again if I, now this I'm getting the two results back of x-axis underscore PR and y-axis underscore PR. So I'll just save these two results here. So you see I'm getting a similar looking, but I'm only doing it for these 6 threshold values, and hence the PR curve isn't looking the best one, but this is doing a similar thing in the background. Okay, so this was all about drawing the precision recall curves and the ROC curves from scratch, and also using the scikit-learn's built-in functions. So one last thing, we'll see how we can calculate the ROC AUC and the area under the PRC curve. So simply ROC AUC score, and this needs y true and y score. So my y true is my y test and y score is my probs array. So once I do this, it will give me 0.7659, which is very close to 0.77, and which is also what we see here. My ROC AUC score was 0.77 and my AUPRC was 0.48, and which will just confirm now. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this here. I'll say average precision score, and even this needs only two arguments of y test and probs, and see it is rounding off to 0.48. I hope you understood how to draw the PR curves from scratch and what is the basic understanding behind drawing these curves. So thank you for watching.